All right, it's Monday night. Just got down to the shop. I did a bunch of work on Sunday. Didn't really film anything, so I'm gonna walk you guys through what I did over the weekend, and then show you another little project we've got going on here that we're gonna get started on and get a break from the RX7 for a little bit. A short break from it, but a break nonetheless. So let me flip this around. All right. So you can see we made some forward and some backwards progress here. Got the radiator in, and when we filled the system, it had developed a leak. We had a leak last season, but when we were pulling it apart, we noticed the lower radiator hose, one of the clamps, was a little bit looser than we would have liked. So we attributed it to that, didn't think of it again, but this season, leak's still there. So taking it to a local shop to get pressure checked and hopefully fixed. I really don't want to have to buy a new one. So from there, I ended up pulling it because I need to mount a coolant temp sensor for the race pack that we're going to be using. And LSs only have two places that you can pull coolant temp from. One is that little connector right there by the spark plug wire, which is the one that the ECU uses. So you can't really mess with that one. It's important. And then there's a blank hole back in this head in the same spot. Let me tilt the camera down right there, where you can see these wires going to it. So that is a autometer sending unit to go with the autometer gauges we got here. Problem is, I experimented to get away with piggybacking off that sending unit. Unfortunately, that sending unit must have different resistance values or something. Autometer won't release their info on it. So I had to order a new one from RacePack because one of the RacePack sensors is still in my BMW and I don't really want to go home and take it out. So what I did, I drilled and tapped a hole in the water pump here. Flip this back around. It's hard to see. Let me grab a flashlight real quick. So I went into the top of the water pump here and drilled and tapped that hole to 1/8 NPT. Made sure no metal got down in that coolant or anything while everything was drained. So I'm going to be able to mount the other sensor there, which is why the throttle body's off to give me room, all that. So I'm waiting on a new race pack sending unit from Jegs. Should be here hopefully Wednesday or Thursday. From there, we got the correct brackets in from TorqueStorm for this supercharger, which are basically just these aluminum spacers here, as well as the correct crank pulley. So you can see we got our belts all on now. Everything's tightened up and good to go here, which is awesome. Can't wait to hear how that thing sounds, even just at idle, because it was disconnected in the startup videos because we still had the wrong brackets. What else? So I also picked up a mechanical autometer boost gauge, same one as the ones that were in the car to begin with over here in this center console. I got some extra holes there. Keeping those as a backup. I'm not totally sure how much I trust the race pack yet. I had some bad luck with it in my BMW of it not working right out of the box. I sent it back to them. It's supposedly fixed now, but I guess we'll see when the time comes. I've turned it on. It seems to be working. It's reading weird coolant numbers, but that's because of that sending unit being wrong. So hopefully everything else is good to go. I think you guys already saw that I got a seat in it. So got this Bamarco FIA Halo seat mounted. It's in here solid as hell, probably way overkill. Plated the whole underside of the floor, did all that. And then while I was doing the race pack stuff, I had to install these two push button switches to switch between the race pack screens. Let's see if the kill switch is on. So yeah, that basically looks like that. And then these buttons will do stuff. They basically just make the lights flash now because I have all the alternative screens disabled because I don't have enough cool stuff to look at yet until I get a wideband sender and a boost sensor and all that stuff to add on to it. But I'm waiting to know that the race pack works before I go and spend the money on a wideband controller kit, a wideband sensor, a boost gauge, and anything else that we want to look at on there, because I would hate to spend that. It's like another 5, 6, 7, 8. It's around $1,000 for all the sensors that I would like that thing to display. So I'd hate to spend that if this race pack is still going to be a piece of shit right out of the box. But yeah, I'm hoping it works. I've always wanted one of those in my cars, and I was really bummed when I had all the problems I had with it last season in the BMW. Hopefully it's taken care of now. What else have we done? That might be it. We kind of got started. Walk to the other side and flip this around. Kind of got started on these passenger seat mounts. The floor wasn't nearly as bad on this side because the seat had never been moved around, whereas on the driver's side it got moved around hundreds of times. Whoa, gimbal's freaking out. So these are pretty much ready. It's hard to tell. You can see this large hump right here. That extended this entire length more or less, so which is why that big tear is there that I'm going to patch up. So we basically just beat the shit out of the floor to get that hump down and get the seat in a better location than it was in before. Oh yeah, I also spent quite a bit of time cleaning up some wiring and some other things on this car. Like, this is the harness for the headlights and the cooling fan. It was just a bunch of colored wires running across. It drove me nuts. So I went ahead and loomed all that and cleaned it up a little bit. I use this snap-on power braid, and it's a real pain in the ass to install, or this painless power braid. It's a real pain in the ass to install, but it's totally worth it in my opinion. It looks so good when it's done, and you have to have a special tool to install it. But I got that. So I also went ahead and did the headlight harness that comes across. You can see it hanging here. This was all just colored wires and stuff. So that's good to go. My parts room here. So we're getting very close to completion, I think. I'm kind of delaying all the body stuff for a while. Tune is coming up in 2 weekends from now, 2 or 3 weekends. I can't remember the exact date. It's the date after the IMI day for Levi's birthday. Unfortunately, this isn't going to be ready like I hoped it was going to be. Tuner can't get me in, and I'm not sure we'd be ready in time anyway because I'm waiting on some parts still. Theoretically, the axles are going to be here Wednesday. The axle spacers, because I'm going to switch to running Mazda 929 axles and see if that works, since I'm having such a problem finding FC axles. So that stuff should all be here by the end of the week. So theoretically, this thing can be driving very carefully on a break-in map by the end of the week. And then just waiting on to get my dash back from my buddy Andy, then I can finalize this race pack installation, clean up the wiring for that, get everything tucked up nice, and then I think that's it. I mean, our whiteboard list is getting pretty tiny here. There's not a whole lot left. This was a full whiteboard when I started, so that's cool. And now I'm going to show you guys what we're doing on this other car. All right, so you might have seen this thing lurking in the back of some of the past videos, maybe Ian working on it here and there. We started on it Friday last week. It's a Nissan 350Z. We're doing a cage-in for a customer. It's a NASA car. I can't remember exactly what series he's running it in, but it was World something. I can't remember. But we just started on it Friday. Ian's made some pretty good progress on it for only having one night into it so far. But I'm taking a break on the RX7 for a little bit to try to get this thing knocked out quickly, because customer cars always come first, obviously. So let me flip this around and show you where we're at. So Ian got the dash out already. It's hanging out over here. You can see got these front boxes built. They're just sitting in there. These rear ones, it's hard to see, but I can't get closer. My gimbal freaks out. These rear ones done. Definitely the most complicated base plates we've had to do yet. These are super funky shaped. And then the customer wants the rear bars to come through these oval holes to where we've got the material cleaned off on each side back here. Shouldn't be any big deal. It's going to be a cool cage when we're done. He wants to do a bunch of additional stuff. It's going to look sweet, and it's pretty awesome that someone outside of drifting has come, because we'd love to work on more road race cars and that stuff. So yeah, I'm going to be filming some progress on this car as we go. It's kind of hard to film and work, but I might just do some time lapses or something. That way you guys can see kind of the steps that go into a cage. I've been really bad about making cage videos lately. I just get in the groove of doing stuff and do it, and then I'm like, oh shit, I forgot to film anything. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy this video. Feel free to drop any questions or concerns or anything else in the comments. And if there's anything else you want to see more of, let me know. Oh, and somebody asked me about my E46, if I still had it, if I was still driving it, where the hell it went. It is sitting in my home garage, done, ready to party. I'm going to be taking it out later, 2 weeks from now, for my buddy Levi's birthday party at IMI. Drive it around, get some seat time in it. I love that car to death. I would never get rid of it unless it's totaled beyond repair, in which case I have a spare shell that all of it would go into. But yeah, definitely keeping the E46 around for ever, as far as I'm planning. So you'll definitely see more of it around. And yeah, thanks for checking it out.